When you're editing your closet, one of the hardest decisions is knowing what to keep and what to let go. Because sometimes something almost works, but not quite, and you're not sure why. Often it's simply a matter of proper fit, and with just a few adjustments, something that was headed for the trash suddenly becomes treasure. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how clothes should fit, what to look for, what to avoid, what actually is worth fixing, and what isn't, so you can make better decisions about what you already own and stop buying things that were never going to work in the first place. First, you need to understand why proper fit is so important. A commonly searched phrase on Pinterest is how to look expensive. I think part of what they're looking for is how to look polished and elegant. Clothing doesn't have to be expensive to look expensive, but it has to have a proper fit. What is it that makes movie and television stars look so perfectly put together, so expensive? Their clothing looks as if it was made for them, and essentially it was. Much of their wardrobes come from the same stores the rest of us shop in, but the difference is that they don't step in front of that camera until their clothes have been altered to fit them like a glove. Clothing rarely fits perfectly right off the rack. Our bodies are too different from one another for one universal size to fit so many of us exactly the same. Extra fabric in the wrong places makes you look bigger, and not enough fabric in the right places is uncomfortable. Tailoring your clothing to your unique proportions highlights your assets and increases your comfort. It's well worth the small amount of money it costs for a tailor to take in or let out a seam or two. Now, on to how clothes should fit. Of course, you already know that if it's too tight and you can't move, it's too small. And if it's hanging like a tent, it's too big. But what about when it fits everywhere but one place? Or what if you're seemingly in between sizes? Don't worry, I've got you. Let's start with the golden rule. If the garment's shoulder doesn't fit properly, don't buy it. And if you already own it, get rid of it. The shoulders are like a hanger. It's where it all starts. The garment drapes down from them. And if they don't fit properly, the garment won't drape and flatter you properly. There aren't any alterations to fix shoulders that don't cost a fortune, and it rarely ever works, so it's definitely not worth it. Let's look at how different clothing categories should fit and how to fix them if they don't. Jackets and coats. Always buy a jacket or coat to fit your shoulders. The body can be adjusted. The shoulder seam should end at the edge of your shoulder. If it's hanging over, try the next size down. And if it ends before the edge of your shoulder, you need to size up. A structured shoulder commands attention and draws the eye upward, while a deconstructed shoulder relies on your shoulders for shape and isn't as noticeably shape-shifting. Often the shoulders of a jacket will fit, but the body will be a bit tight. This is when alterations come in. As long as there's enough fabric left inside the garment, a tailor can let out the sides. Manufacturers generally leave extra fabric on either side of the side and back seams. You can sometimes feel how much is there through the lining. Jackets and coats can be let out about 1 to 2 inches, provided enough fabric is there. If the body's too full, a tailor can take in the side seams or add darts to give the jacket more shape. It should close easily without pulling across the back. The collar should sit against the back of your neck, the lapels should lay down flat, and the body should just skim the sides of you. You can choose to wear jackets open if there isn't enough fabric to let out, but if the bottom front is pulling too far apart, it'll visually widen your hips. Sleeve length can end at the bend of the wrist or at the wrist bone, where it leaves room for shirt cuffs and jewelry to show. The overall length of jackets and coats can vary. A long overcoat can be shortened, but a jacket most often cannot. The placement of the pockets doesn't allow for much change without ruining the overall shape. Also, be sure to remove the X threads holding a back vent or slit together. Those are just there for shipping purposes. Shirts follow many of the same rules as jackets. The shoulder seam should end at the edge of the shoulder unless it's designed as a drop shoulder shirt. The body should skim the lines of your shape and not pull across the back when you move. The armhole shouldn't feel uncomfortable. Either size up or try a different style altogether. A button front shirt should close without the fabric pulling away from your sides, but if it's just barely opening between the buttonholes, which is common for a larger bust, tiny clear snaps can be added in between the buttons to keep that from happening. Another trick is using double-sided fashion tape in those spaces instead. If the shoulder fits but the body's too big, it can be adjusted by taking in the side seams or adding darts, which are seams made in the back of the shirt to give it more shape. If the body's too tight and there's enough fabric available at the seams or darts that can be opened, a tailor might be able to let it out for you. Don't wear your shirts too long. Remember, bigger just looks bigger. The length of your shirt hem should hit between your waistband and mid-hip. If a shirt hem is too long or there's too much fabric to tuck in, it can be shortened and even shaped into a flattering shirt tail hem to wear untucked as well. If the shirt's neckline is wide enough that your bra straps keep peeking out, try adhering double-sided fashion tape to the tops of the bra straps, or have a tailor sew bra strap holders into the top. The threaded snap goes under the bra strap and snaps to keep it in place. It's pretty easy to do it yourself. I included a link to a tutorial for it down below. Finally, if you have a sleeveless top that hangs too low in the front and the armholes are low enough, it can be shortened at the shoulder seams. Try pinching them up to make sure the armhole is still comfortable. Sweaters and knitwear follow the same rules as shirts. Shoulder seams end at the edge of your shoulder unless it's designed as a drop shoulder, and the armhole and body shouldn't pull tight or be too full. Cardigans should be able to close or come close to it, even if you plan to wear them open. There's not a lot that can be done to alter sweaters and knitwear. A tailor can sometimes repair on-seam damage, but holes or rips anywhere else need to be rewoven. Not many people do it anymore, and it's very expensive. Moving on to pants and jeans, where it's all about the rise. The rise is the distance from the crotch to the top of the waistband. It affects proportion and comfort and can't be altered, so you need to choose wisely. A low rise visually elongates the top of the body, and a high rise elongates the lower part of the body. A mid-rise provides visual balance to a balanced body. But regardless of height, if you have a long torso, a higher rise provides balance, while a short torso achieves balance with a lower rise. The lower the rise, the more chance of skin spilling over the waistband. As the rise gets higher, it holds more in. You'll need to experiment with what feels and looks best on you. You can tell the rise is wrong for you when you feel it riding up your front or back. The waist of your jeans and pants shouldn't gape at the back, but if it does, it can be easily taken in. This is common for curvy women. Luckily, there are more styles available that are specially made for curvy women with fuller hips and small waists. And thankfully, more designers are offering different lengths, which just might save you from having to get yours hemmed. When it comes to jeans, the waistband should be snug, but not tight. You shouldn't have to struggle to get them on or suck in your tummy to zip them up. Have a seat to make sure they don't ride too far down the back. If so, you need a different rise. If the pockets of your pants, and skirts for that matter, pull outward, but the garment fits you everywhere else, they can be sewn shut, and you can even have the linings removed as well. Which brings us to dresses and skirts. Skirts should sit at your natural waist and skim over your hips, allowing for regular movement. The vent should hang closed and not pull open when you're standing, otherwise the skirt's too small. The waistband should be snug, as it's what anchors the skirt and keeps it from spinning around while you walk. So buy a skirt to fit your hips and bottom. A tailor can adjust the waist and add darts to give it more shape and make it stay put. Dresses. A dress should be comfortable for movement and follow the lines of your shape. Look to the fit recommendations of shirts and skirts when it comes to judging the fit of dresses. I get lots of questions about hem lengths. The lengths of jeans, pants, skirts, and dresses can change from season to season, depending on the trends, but it ultimately comes down to personal preference. Here's my advice for the most timeless and figure-flattering lengths. First of all, always bring the shoes you plan to wear with your item when you go for the fitting. The tailor measures the length against your shoe heel. If you'd like to wear heels and flats with long pants, you'll need one pair for each shoe height. When it comes to dresses and skirts, you'll find the most flattering when they don't end at the widest part of your calf or thigh. Most often at or just above the knee is a flattering length. I've put together a hem length cheat sheet you can reference for the most common style pants, jeans, dresses, and skirts. I'll link that below for you. Just a couple quick notes before you look at getting rid of any shoes or belts. Leather shoes can often be professionally stretched by a cobbler if they're too tight. Unfortunately, patent leather shoes cannot, because that great shine is provided by an unstretchable plastic coating. If your shoes are too big or your foot keeps sliding too far forward, try using an adhesive heel guard or a pad at the ball of the foot, or even both. They'll take up that extra space and keep your foot still. Belts. The same cobbler who helps you with your shoes will have a hole puncher to add extra holes to belts that are too loose. Many stores offer alterations with your purchase, but you should find a local tailor to have on hand as well. Try asking high-end stores who they use for their alterations and shoe repair, or look to Google or Yelp for reviews. When you do find someone, try them out with 1 or 2 items first and check to see that you're happy with their work. I've included an alterations pricing guide so you have a general idea of what these changes typically cost. Use it to determine whether or not it's more cost-effective to alter or repair something you already own versus replacing it with something new. You'll find that, along with the hem length cheat sheets and the full fit guide that I've created for you to use while editing your closet. I'll link that below if you want it. This is just part of the exact process I teach inside my masterclass, The Right Way to Edit Your Closet, a stylist's step-by-step guide to a streamlined wardrobe, where you learn to recognize what works, what doesn't, and why, as you build a wardrobe that makes you shine. You can learn more at the link below. I'll see you in my next video.